if you try to scale up, you have to find private lenders or limited partners first. Then you feel more confident to negotiate. Okay? You have to have a negotiation skills. And you have to get a huge discounted price because you can say, I'm a cash buyer. I can close in 2 weeks. That's a strong negotiation point, right?
Yes, it is.
Therefore,
You're not waiting on a bank to approve you.
right. You have to have a cash in hand. Otherwise, you cannot be strong. Therefore, this is number one.
Welcome to Real Estate to Freedom, the podcast that helps you create the active life you've always wanted through passive income investments. Now, here are your hosts, Dr. Nate and Beckie Lambert.
Welcome everybody to the Real Estate to Freedom podcast. We are so excited to have you here with us today. I have a guest with us today that I've been wanting to interview for a while. Steve is someone I've known for a few years now. My husband, Nate, has known him, how long, Steve? 7, 8 years?
Yeah.
He's known you forever. And Steve has a very impressive experience in real estate. I'm going to tell you a little bit about him. Steve Nomura is actually from Japan, and I am so impressed by this man. He grew up in Japan, and he came to the US in the year 2000 with his wife and his 4 children, which is hard enough to do anyway, to uproot yourself into a whole nother country, a whole new language. In addition to that, he has a majors in law and social thought, philosophy, international relations, and theology, which is a mouthful because there's so much on that. He has a master's degree in divinity, and his background is actually in education. So he's learned a lot about how to teach people, which is one of the reasons I'm excited to have him here today. In 2007, he started investing in real estate, and he learned how to do it through wholesaling and fix and flipping. And then he advanced into more of the rehab of the buy and hold strategies. I am both shocked and pleased to announce that from 2007 until today, he has closed over 230 transactions. I believe you're at 234 now, right, Steve?
Yes.
In the midst of that is 84 rental properties that he owns himself. His primary acquisition strategy is short sales, REO, seller financing, subject to, and lease options. So he kind of specializes in a handful of things, finding a way to make it work. Steve, can you tell us a little bit about your specific market area? Do you operate all over the country, or do you kind of operate in a specific market area?
I'm living in the south side of Chicago, and then I have most of the property in Chicago City. Also, I have 10 properties in northwest of Indiana. Then, yeah, that's the area I'm working on.
Oh, nice. Can you tell us what caused you to decide to move from Japan to the United States in the first place? That's a pretty big jump.
Yeah. I was supposed to work in the educational research institution in New York. And then that's a kind of non-profit organization. And then I worked there for 3 years. Then something changed in the end of the third year. I was asked to manage a Japanese restaurant in Chicago, and then I accepted. I thought I changed my career dramatically, and then I came to Chicago. Then I did it for 3 years, and then I quit, and I started real estate investment.
Wow, that's a lot of shit. So it took you to Chicago, and then you quit. You said you were managing a restaurant. Is that what you were?
Yeah, Japanese restaurant, Japanese sushi restaurant in north side of Chicago. And I did it for over 3 years. And then
3 years.
yeah, it's a very big story. I don't tell, but I quit. I quit, and then I was wondering what to do next. And then I talked to several people. From the beginning, when I came to the United States, I had I was watching some infomercial in the midnight, and then I never heard of appreciation of the property. Japan is the only country, the only country in the world there's no appreciation. Yeah.
Oh, there's no appreciation in Japan?
No,
I didn't know
appreciation is
that.
only land. Land is appreciating a little bit, but no more. In America, maybe 70%, 75 or 80% of the building portion, and then 25% is the land portion. But in Japan, it's completely opposite. 20% is a building, 80% is land. Therefore, building doesn't appreciate. Land appreciated in the 1970s, 80s, but not so much after 1990s. for almost nothing. My aunt is always saying that my house has no value right now because
Wow.
when you bought, the value is highest and go all the way to zero, literally zero. Not
That's such a crazy concept because here in the US, it's the exact opposite. Whatever
oh,
you bought for
that's
20
right.
years ago, you're wishing you could buy it for that price now. It's worth
Exactly.
usually double, triple, 4 times.
Exactly.
So it was kind of the infomercials at night talking about the appreciation of real
Right.
estate that
Right.
actually brought you to the US.
Right. Therefore, that was 7 years before I started this business, but that is something in my mind. Therefore, I
Uh-huh.
was always wondering maybe I can do this. Then I talked with several people I respected.
Uh-huh.
Then they also recommended to do real estate. Actually, they are doing real estate in Japan. Therefore, they encouraged me to do this. And I started this. I started this business.
Very awesome, Steve.
Yeah.
And so when you started in real estate, tell me a little bit about that journey where you realized, okay, I don't want to manage a restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
I want to do real estate. What do I do? You talked to some people who talked about real estate. What was your original thought process? Were you thinking, okay, maybe I'll buy a rental? Were you planning originally going into flipping, or were you kind of deer in the headlights and didn't even know what your options were?
Right. Yeah. Around that time, 2007 and then 2008, market was still seems hot, but actually not. Actually, market was already started going down. And then end of 2008, 2009, it's very obvious market is completely crushed. That's why I was focusing on short sale to buy distressed property or
Oh,
underwater properties. And then I was doing wholesaling. That was my first 3 years, closer to 4 years. Buying strategy is short sale, then exit side is wholesaling. Well, short sale, wholesale. This is my kind of pattern. Then I did more than 40 wholesales around the time. Therefore, I had no negative influence by the market because I was taking advantage of the market, the real profit. Then that is first 4 years, and then during the period, I sold my wholesale deal to mostly rehabbers. Then I had no interest, honestly, zero interest, negative interest in doing fixing flipping. Since I'm childhood, I have no interest in doing that kind of repairs. Even I don't know how to use tools even today. Okay, okay. I was watching what's going on with the property I sold to the rehabbers. And I asked some rehabbers allow me to follow up. Then several Polish rehabbers allowed me to go through the process together. Then I sold the property for $35,000 to $40,000. And then they put $80,000 to rehab. Then eventually they sold this house for $180,000 to $200,000.
what?
Yeah.
Okay, so you sold it to them for 20 to 30,000.
30. So the many rehabbers call me during the period because I set my sales price for 35. Sometimes
Okay.
I made 10,000, sometimes 5,000, but they know me, I'm selling for 35. The highest price is 40, mostly 35. Therefore, they're calling me, okay,
Yeah.
thinking I'm selling for 35. Therefore, they call me all the time. Steve, do you have a deal? If I say yes, they know I'm selling for 35. Therefore, I had lots of cash buyers. Then, therefore, I could very easily sell. If I get the deal, I could sell immediately. I have a huge buyers list. Then, during the period, mostly cash deal. They have to be a cash buyer, the rehabbers, investors. Then I
Right.
follow them up. And as I said, they're selling for 180, 200. Then I always, of course, I ask them, how much did you put? They say 70,000, 80,000. Of course, calculation like 35 plus 70 and then
You're
180.
like, I think I'm on the wrong end of this transaction.
Exactly. I thought I'm wearing the wrong shoes. Therefore, even I don't like having at all, but I push myself to do it. Then I start doing fix and flip, but I have no experience and I don't have any confidence doing rehabbing. Therefore, I try to find out partner. Yeah, this is the only time I got the partner in the beginning, then who has some kind of cash or who has some kind of relationship who can bring the money into this deal, also who has some experience in rehabbing or fix and flipping. Then I found one partner. Then I find the property. he bring the money and some kind of expertise in rehabbing. Then I did 2 rehabbing in the beginning of my 4th year, 2011. Then okay, I start doing, after I did a 2 big rehabbing, okay, I start doing small fix and flipping by myself. Then at the same time, okay, I start holding rental properties in 2011. This is my 4th year. Then honestly, 4th year, 2011, 2012, 2013 is the lowest. Okay, market is completely crushed, right? 2009, the market became a lowest 2011, 12, 13. If I was buying lots of properties. And then 2011, I flipped many, but I kept 6. 2012, I flipped 10, I kept 10. 2013, same, I flipped 10, I kept 10. Then
Okay.
I had the 30 rentals by the end of 2013. Then 2014, 15, I kept 10, I flipped 10, I did the same thing. Altogether 50 rentals by the end of 2015. That is, I felt this is my first level of financial independence in the end of 2015.
Woo! 2015 was your year, your first
Right. It took
financial freedom.
it took 8 years to come to that point. Therefore, I was seriously focused on that, to reach the certain level. I feel a little bit comfortable to relax a little bit.
Yeah, that's very normal in real estate investing, Steve. It kind of is a process. You just kind of take a little level of relaxation, just a little bit more when you know some of that weight comes off your shoulders. Most of the time, it doesn't all come off at one time. That is impressive. So you got into wholesaling, ended up realizing how much money the people were making that were flipping the houses,
Right.
decided to do both sides of it, get your own properties and flip the properties,
Right.
and keep 10 of them each year in your own personal rental portfolio, which is how you built to the 84 houses you have now, correct?
Right.
That's awesome. So, can you tell me a little bit about how you scaled your team
Oh,
to
yeah, yeah.
do that?
Right.
Because you said that
Right.
you didn't swing the hammer yourself. That was what you did not want about fix and flipping. Because
Right.
I'm with you, Steve. I am not super handy when it comes to a pen. If I take the pen apart, there's only 5 pieces. I'll just throw it away and buy a new one. I'm not skilled enough to put it back together, even if it still works.
Yeah, turning point. There are several turning points until 2012. Okay, many banks or financial institutions never lend money to real estate. Therefore, only way to keep rentals is using private lenders' money,
So
buy
private lenders.
and maybe fixing up rent. Then
Mhm.
I have to flip more, then make some money, pay them off. That's the only pattern I could keep rentals under my company name. I never had any partners. And therefore, I own everything by myself. Therefore, that's a pattern. Borrow money from private lenders and fixing up and rent out. Then I'm gonna fix more, fixing flipping more, and then pay them off. Then 2012, okay, something changed, and local banks, local lenders started lending to real estate. Then, very, very local, maybe 5 minutes drive from my home. Then local bank approached me, says, I don't know where they got my info, but they say, Steve, we can refinance your entire portfolio, or we can give you $1 million business line of credit. That was huge, huge turning point for me. Then I took refinance. Therefore, I had another time I had like a 15 rental something. Then I refinanced and I get all cash out. So
For buying houses for 30, 40,000. Is that still the price you're paying for them at that time?
I bought for 30, 40,000 and then fixing up using
Uh-huh.
maybe 50, 60 altogether. Another time my goal is a max 110 or 120 in total. Okay.
Per house.
So yeah, then I rent it out. Most of the houses are a little bit distressed property, therefore I have to fix up and rent altogether $100 to $120,000, including purchase price and rehabbing cost. Then after, I think I have 15 or so, then my entire portfolio was refinanced. I get a huge cash out. Then around that time, okay, I became more aggressive to buy because I don't need to worry about making profit by flipping properties. I borrow money from private lenders and fixing up, and then renting out. I have 3 to 5 properties together, and then I refinance with the local lender. Yeah, at the time I was taking only like a 65% loan to value. Then I refinancing, then pay them off. Then I kept, increasing my portfolio. That's the first turning point. And then second turning point is, after 2015, after I did 50 rentals, okay, I started doing lots of seller financing type thing. Okay, that was another type. Then I could reach the sellers who are so motivated to sell, but who has lots of equity in the house. At the time, I bought I bought nice properties, but I don't need to do such a big work. I just rent out. And then seller financing, no money down. I could buy more property.
Pretty good price, yeah.
Yeah,
No money down.
no money down, seller financing subject to, and then even biggest down payment is 10 grand. Okay. Then seller financing, zero money down, 0% interest.
That's those are amazing deals, Steve. You must be quite the negotiator. Zero money down on a seller financing.
That's a turning point. And also, maybe I should mention it like this. Okay, to buy 2-3 property a month. In the first year, the hotel room, after I listened to that 2-day social class, I was struggling. I want to seriously pray about how I could make a breakthrough in this business. I got the strong inspirations. Then that voice says, Steve, if you want to win this game, if I want to win this game, you should find properties more than anybody else. If you want to win this game, you should find money more than anybody else. Therefore, I don't understand so much about detail in strategies or financial issues, tax issues.
Right.
I thought I can win this game if I find more than anybody else, if I find money and property more than anybody else. That's why I'm really focusing on finding properties. Finding property means, okay, in the beginning, I was finding by myself, but I start working with the people who can find property for me. Therefore, I decided to spend more time to find the people who can find property for me. Therefore, most property finders are agents.
Right.
Agent is number 1, lead sources. Number 2, mortgage brokers, title company, or real estate attorney, and also all kinds of people. Company that demolishing the house, the company throw away the garbages, any kind of companies, individuals for relating with this real estate. Also, not just in the people, company in this industry, anybody who meet, asking people, if you know somebody who is selling the house, who is looking to sell the house, let me know. I can give you $1,000, $2,000. And I made lots of list of the people I contacted to find the property. That's the reason I am getting 2-3 deals a month.
That's awesome, Steve. You really took your business and you scaled it by reaching out to everybody and leveraging relationships and growing the lead sources you had coming in. Good work. That is awesome.
Yeah. So wholesalers are one of them.
Yeah.
Wholesalers are always wholesaling distressed properties. If they find good property with a good condition, almost no equity in the house, or 5%, 10% equity in the house, they can wholesale. Therefore, they are giving to me. I just took over the mortgage payment.
Right. You just take over the existing mortgage as it is, if the terms make sense, and move forward. Good idea.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, when you build a business that large, flipping that many houses and picking up properties, not all of them that you flip, some of them you pick up in your own portfolio. It really is about the same as building a commercial business, because you're building that team, you're building the network. It's also a lot like capital raising, actually, because you're building leverage relationships with all these different people in so many different industries, finding ways that you can help them and that they can help you. And your team comes in and solves a problem for somebody who is looking to sell the house, or maybe it's not in good condition, things like that, help them solve their problems. So that's awesome. A lot of real estate, both residential and commercial, is solving problems that other people have so that they're no longer their problems.
Right.
That allows you ways to make money, right?
That's right. Exactly. I have
Awesome.
a lot of good testimony about that. More motivated sellers. Even they're
Definitely.
giving up 80, 60, 70, 80, 90,000 equity in the house, but still they're appreciating. I'm
Yeah,
buying,
they're happy because you're taking care of their problem. No,
right,
that's awesome.
right.
What would you say are some of the biggest lessons that you have learned from operating a business on this scale?
So maybe I can talk about maybe money issue first.
Yes, please.
And as I say in the beginning of this business, I got the inspiration. If you find money more than anybody else, I can win this game. Therefore, always, some people say, okay, you can find the property first, then money comes with this. That's true. But if you have money first, much easier to buy a house, right?
Mhm.
Therefore,
Yes.
what I'm doing is always finding money, finding property first, and finding money second. That's the only thing I'm doing, nothing else. Okay. Therefore, I always say that the funding equals freedom. Funding equals freedom.
I like that. Let's post that. Funding equals freedom. Because it
Right.
is true. How many people do you know who are like, I've got a deal, but I don't have money. I'm going to have to just watch it
Right.
fall.
All right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Therefore, maybe you're doing the same thing, but I always giving some not just the introduction of Rios. I'm sharing what I'm doing, right? At the
Huh?
same time, I'm asking if you're interested in lending money, I can help you to increase the money. Okay, that's not, I gonna make personal relationship with them, and by doing several real estate investment presentation, then I'm connecting those people personally, and then sometimes if they are in this area, I can meet them personally on face to face. Then I have lots of private lenders list. There's some waiting list. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, every time I find property, I call them. Are you ready to invest $200,000, $300,000? Yes. Then I buy. This is what I'm doing all the time. Therefore, I'm confident buying 2, 3 property a month right now. Okay.
Mhm.
Of course, if I buy 3, 1 is maybe self financing subject to, but 2 maybe distressed property. This is the ratio right now. Okay. Therefore, first, if you try to scale up, you have to find private lenders or limited partners first. Then you feel more confident to negotiate. Okay? You have to have a negotiation skills. Then you have to get a huge discounted price because you can say, I'm a cash buyer. I can close in 2 weeks. That's a strong negotiation point, right?
Yes, it is.
Therefore,
You're not waiting on a bank to approve you. Uh-huh.
right. You have to have a cash in hand. Otherwise, you cannot be strong. Therefore, this is number one. Number two, okay, as I said, and you have to have people to find the property for you, right?
Mhm.
Therefore, we often say that 110-3-1 rule. I'm checking lots of properties every week, every month, and then finding good deals. But you have to have people to bring the deal to you. Therefore, that's the time. That's the important factor. Therefore, I'm building a team like that. Then I train my son to scale up. Okay, I cannot manage everything by myself. And this is my little unique point. I have 2 sons. Both of them are licensed agent in Illinois and Indiana. But my eldest son is a property manager he's taking care of most of my properties with me. But he's taking care of maybe 70, 80% of the property manager. Then my second son is also agent in Indiana. He's working with one of my most trustworthy general contractors learning construction work. Then
Mhm.
to manage enter properties, I was doing everything by myself. I learned a lot. I made a lot of mistakes. I made a manual. I realized that I should have worked with a very trustworthy property managers from the beginning. Because
Oh,
I made a mistake to choose one property managers in the beginning. I hate it. I decided not to use them anymore. But I went to not the wrong way, long way to learn many things by myself. Anyway, I made a very, very, very detailed property management manual by myself, and I trained my son. And right now, he's managing all kinds of issues by himself. That freed me up. Yeah, I have lots of
right.
to finding more properties. And I think scaling up, that's finding money, finding properties, and then property management. Also contractors. Okay, that's an important factor. Contractors. I was cheated by contractors so many times. Then I lost a big amount of money. Honestly, I lost big amount of money several times because I had no idea. As I say, I have no interest in learning construction work. But point is, okay, I had to find contractors who can do construction work, quality construction work with building code, so that I don't have any issues after I rent it out. Right
Right.
now, I have no headache at all after renting out this option. Okay, I have no complaint from the tenant. I have no issues to fix. Therefore, that is very easy to manage. Almost nothing to do after I rent it out. And those are several points.
That's awesome. So it sounds like you had a lot of headache at first finding a good
Yeah,
contractor
yeah.
and finding a good property manager, which you are not alone on that. I'd say those are the two industries where it is hardest to find.
It's a very funny story in the beginning. Okay. After I started fixing flipping by myself, very beginning, yeah, I sold the house. After I sold the house, buyer's attorney called me and said, Steve, the water is leaking from the ceiling of the living room.
Oh man.
No way. But it was true. And the ceiling from the roof to the ceiling to the floor, the water is leaking. It was rainy day. The water is leaking.
What caused that rainy day?
Because that the contractor was not licensed. Yeah, I didn't know that. Contractor was not licensed, and they put the
Oh,
singles in the long way from the bottom to the higher, right? But they put the single from the higher level to the lower level. The water is coming in constantly. Then also they say that the air doesn't come to the second floor. Then I have no other choice but open the wall. Okay? Once we open the wall, yeah, duct was installed in the wrong way. The air doesn't go. Anyway, that's huge headache. Okay, several cases. This is not just one. Okay, in the beginning, I used a cheap labor, non-licensed contractor. That gave me a huge headache, not just sales or the rental part, all kinds of headache.
yeah.
You cannot do this. To scale up, you have to build your credibility among the people, right?
Yes.
Or that was my big mistake in the beginning. Therefore, I had to choose not most expensive contractors, but I have to choose certain level of quality contractors to do the work.
Licensed to do a good job, which let's be honest, everyone says they do a good job. You don't know till they're done whether or not they
Right.
actually did a good
Exactly.
job. And in that
Right.
case, oh,
That's
Steve, my heart goes out to you. I've experienced some stuff like that too. And it is
Yeah.
part of the growing pains of being in the real estate sector sometimes. But word of mouth is helpful when you find other investors that are doing a good job at it, when they can tell you, hey, this is my contractor, which some of them will tell you that, and some of them won't because they don't want you to keep their contractor too busy to do work for them. And so it's this
That's right.
different.
Exactly. Therefore, I have three contractors. Okay, three contractors, and then one of them is very good, very good. And then many other investors are contacting this guy, asking this guy, my contractor, to work with them. And then my contractor is kind of loyal to me. And he always reported, Steve, I got the call from this investor. I know. Then he's offering higher price to work with them. And he doesn't work with them. He worked with me. There's lots of contractors are bad. Therefore, they are trying to find out good contractors. I have three of them. And they are trying to contact my contractor to take them to their project. Therefore I have to loyal to them. Okay, I'm loyal to them.
It's true.
Yeah.
Oh man, those are all part of the growing pains. But would you say all those difficult growing pains along the way, were those worth it to you, Steve, from where you are now? Looking back, was it worth it?
Yeah, I wish I could go through much easier way. But only this is my kind of nature. Okay, I should have opened my mind to ask other people, then ask their opinion. If you are doing everything by yourself, like self-employed people, we easily think we tend to think we are doing the right way. Okay? Then you don't listen to other people's opinion. That one, until 6-7 years ago, I had that kind of tendency. I don't listen to anybody else. I'm doing right way, but actually no. Okay, therefore I should have listened to other, to be part of the community, renters community, whatever. You should open your heart and then asking their opinion. Even you have some kind of experience, 30, 40 properties, I should have opened my mind to relate with other people, get their opinion. and I needed to have some objective evaluation of what I'm doing. That should be done at the time.
Oh, great advice, Steve. Have an objective opinion to what other people are telling you. Because it is true, sometimes we think we know what we're doing and we don't discover till later on that somebody else actually could have saved me a lot of headache if
Right,
I had just listened to what they were trying to tell me. They were trying to impart to me knowledge they learned the hard way already. They were trying to help me and I wasn't listening.
right,
Steve, you're not the only one who struggles with that. A lot of us have over the years, and most of us look back and think, "Ah, I wish I had listened."
right. That's right. Yeah.
Which brings me to a really good question I wanted to ask you. What mindset did you have to change in your life in order to get into real estate? Were there any mindset shifts you had to make? Because a lot of people do.
That's a huge mindset change in 2007. Okay.
Hmm.
Huge. I never thought about by that time. Okay. I was employed manager in Japanese restaurant. Okay. And I quit.
Hmm.
For the first time in my life, I had no income.
That's a huge mindset shift and stressful
And then
one as well.
I realized that, okay, even internally, I try to how to say, I try to I try to not to have a kind of attachment to the money. Okay. Therefore,
Mhm.
I try to be more free from money. And then if I can live in certain way, I was okay with that. But when I quit Japanese restaurant, no income for several months, then getting harder and harder. And I realized that even internally, I try to not to have attachment, but I was working for money, right? Externally. Then I had the chance to read Robert Kiyosaki's Cash Flow Quadrant, Rich Dad Poor Dad book. Then I realized that
Right.
I'm in the 100% on the left side. Then I have to change my position to B and I. I have to make asset working for me. I have to let other people working for my business to produce more profit. That's the aha moment. That's a aha moment. I decide to get involved in real estate. That's the number one mindset change. And also another mindset change is like this. Okay. I decide to take full responsibility in my life. Okay. If you're working for somebody else, you are depending on this person's hand, right, to get paid.
Yeah.
Therefore, I decide to take full responsibility in my life, means financially, physically, spiritually, in many ways, I'm gonna take full responsibility. I don't blame other people. I'm gonna do everything by myself. Then I feel more comfortable in my life. I feel start growing a lot. It took several years to make a breakthrough in this business, but during this period, my attitude is always I'm gonna take full responsibility. Even I was the lowest in my life because there's no deal, no income, no profit. I was struggling a lot, but that was a moment, I very, very close to God. Okay. Then my mentor at the time always telling me, Steve, if you are if you feel most difficult time, that's the moment you can make a breakthrough. And also, God allow you to go through to this most difficult time for you to become the person who can receive his award later. Therefore, I feel more comfortable, but also I feel more blessing. Even I was difficult time. If I take responsibility, I
Mhm.
feel I'm growing a lot. Therefore, that's a big mindset change. Then after I start doing deals constantly. Okay, of course, that kind of mindset is still the bottom, my foundation.
Wow, great, great direction and advice. Because you're right, it's a huge mindset shift to move from somebody else gives me money each month or each week or every 2 weeks to live on versus I am going to be completely accountable. I'm going to be completely in charge of my financial future.
Right, that's
It
right.
is a huge mindset shift, but it is a powerful, powerful one. So good job, Steve. Appreciate that. And I like how you relied on God to give you direction and help you to know how to get there. That makes my heart so happy. So I've had some people ask me some of the questions that some of our audience asked me to reach out to you about was you talked about finding private money lenders who were willing to give you money to finance your flips. How did you build those relationships for people who are starting out and looking to find those? How did you find these people? Is there a list you went to, or how did you build that group?
Okay, the 15 years ago, 16 years ago, and now it's a little bit different. Okay, and in the beginning, okay, honestly, I just call the people on my cell phone. Then,
All your warm contacts, the people you know.
yeah, people feel uncomfortable to call people, ask for money, right? But I don't care. I just call. I just call people, and then I'm doing this real estate. Do you have money? I can work together with you, and then I can give you some interest payment. And then, do you have money? And then if they say no, do you know somebody who has money? And I just call one person. I ask them to introduce somebody else, somebody else, somebody else. Then, of course, in the beginning, I have no, how to say, experience. Okay, most difficult part in the first deal. Wholesale was easier, okay, because I can use transactional funding. Therefore, some people lend me for 1 week with 1.5. That's the easy part. If I start doing fixing, flipping, rehabbing, okay, and also rental business, okay, it's gonna be more difficult. Then honestly, I joined several business group. Okay, I joined business group, and then I tried to become member of the business group, and then make a relationship first. And then I asked them to lend me money. That's after I studied rental business, I had to use their money for quite a long time, for not just a few months, maybe 1 year, until I get the money from flipping business. Therefore, I just made a relationship in the business group. Some are Japanese business group, some are local regular American group. Anyway, I have lots of. Also, I talked with the real estate agent a lot. Agent helped me to find private lenders too. From my cell phone, from my business relationship, then also from the agent referral. That is how and then I found one person who can find the people. That's a quite big money. I don't know how many people this person brought to me. Among those relationships, she introduced me several private lenders. If I find one person, then this person introduced me several people. If I flip, then pay them back. Immediately they ask me to use them again. Therefore, I did not need such a big amount of private lenders. Okay, I had only maybe, if I have 10 private lenders, I can use those people's money constantly, repeatedly. But recently it's a little bit different. Okay, I'm doing lots of presentation of real estate. They're joining my presentations, and then after they join my presentation, I send up questionnaires. And one of the questions is, are you interested in being a private lender or a part of the limited partners? If they say yes, I call them and talk over the phone, talk with the Zoom, then make a relationship, and then they're gonna decide to lend money. This is how I'm doing these days.
Good work, Steve. The very good answer with lots of information in there for people who are looking to find private money lenders, because that is sometimes the hardest part, especially when you start out. So to recap, let me know if I missed anything. You said you started calling all the people in your contacts, everyone in your phone, and asking them, do you have money that you would be willing to invest in this or partner with me? And if not, do you know somebody who does that might be that might be interested in this?
Right.
You joined local groups. For you, it was like Japanese business owners, a group of Japanese business owners. That might not be the same for everybody, but find groups that you can connect with. Find groups that have things in common with you, whether it's real estate investors groups, although the challenge with real estate investors groups is most of them are looking for money. And so,
honestly,
people.
Even the Renatus community, okay, there are several people who lend in the Renatus community. Okay.
Yes, there are. There are several of those. Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can find money, people who are willing to lend money to you on your projects. But I'm sure with a lot of them though, Steve, if you just showed up at the business meeting of, for example, in your case, Japanese business owners, and you started asking them for money right off the bat, how likely are they to give you money when they don't actually know you yet?
No, it took a little bit time to build a relationship. It's not a one-time meeting. Okay, I have to go to like a weekly meeting, a monthly meeting, and they build a relationship. And then if they trust me, Yeah. Of course, it's a very, very kind of advantage because we are, talking the same language. But
Right.
yeah, but it takes time. Of course, even we have a kind of same in the same group, but to lend 50, 60, $100,000, okay,
Right.
you have to have a good relationship, trust from them first. Therefore, I'm loyal to this business group, and then contribute something, and then maybe they can trust me.
So yeah, it takes time to build these relationships.
Right.
We often talk to people and let them know people want to invest with somebody that they know, like, and trust. And that can't happen the first time they meet you.
Right.
You've got to invest the time to get to know them
Right. Right.
and genuinely care about them. And you've got to give them time to get to know that you are a trustworthy person. Steve,
Right.
spot on perfect. Good work.
Well, one more thing is this, okay?
Yeah.
This is I think many people talking about, but we never beg money, right? We never
Yep.
beg money. That's the worst thing to do. Therefore, our attitude should be, I can help you to increase your money, right?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I can help you to increase your money.
Yeah. This is our attitude. In the beginning, 15 years, honestly, maybe I was begging money. Right now,
Right.
if you're interested, I can use your money to increase your money. Okay? I can use your money to help you to increase your money. And if you like it, I can use your money. Something like this.
I like it.
So yeah, our attitude should be like that. Otherwise, if they feel I'm begging money, they don't come to you.
Definitely. Can I ask you, Steve, how has your business of flipping properties and building your rental portfolio, how has it changed in the last 3 or 4 years
Oh
in
yeah, yeah,
the
that's good.
interest rate
Yeah,
environment?
yeah. That's an important point.
Mhm.
Okay, 3, 4 years ago, until maybe exactly same time that the COVID hit, okay, I was doing quite a number of regular rentals, okay, regular lease.
Yeah, just regular rentals, huh?
Yeah. But once COVID hit, and especially 2021, 22, I changed everything into lease option, okay? Lease option or land contract for deed. Therefore, if I buy, fixing up, no regular lease, 100% lease option. And then, of course, sometimes I use hardware lenders' money, sometimes private lenders' money. I have to pay them back. As you mentioned, interest went up so much from March 2022. Therefore, cash flow becomes shrinked. Okay, therefore,
Right.
it's very small cash flow. Therefore, I have to survive for next 3, 4 years at least. Therefore, I did a lease option because I have to buy a little bit cheaper price and then increase the value a lot. And then I'm going to take 70% loan to value or 65% loan to value. And then I'm going to get still lower interest rate, but still cash flow is like a $500, $600. Okay, in the past, my cash flow is much bigger than 500, 600. But I do this option, means they're going to pay me 3.5% to 5% of the option price. Usually that is between $11,000 to $15,000 in my business in this area. That's like a 1 year half cash flow. Then sometimes 2 year cash flow. Therefore, even I have a little bit cash flow each month, but upfront I reserve 2 years cash flow. Okay, therefore I could survive next. This is how I'm doing. Okay, therefore this option, I got the cash flow each month, but smaller. Therefore, I'm gonna get this option fee upfront. That's almost 2 years cash flow amount. Then
Awesome.
Actually next week during the period, my highest interest is 9.1%.
Ooh, that is
And
pretty high, actually.
yeah, that was highest time. And then also next one is 8.9%. Then the other one is 8.7%. Those are three highest interest rate. Okay, I had to do it because I used private lenders' money at the time. Therefore, I had to pay them off. Then if you use 9% interest rate loan to pay them off, your cash flow is very small. But as I say, I got a huge amount of lease option fee upfront. If I could have a good amount of cash flow so far. Then right now, as of now, okay, my interest rate is maybe 6.2%. Okay, if I take 70%, 75% loan to value. Therefore, this time I gonna refinance and nail the exit. I don't until the excess option to purchase. I never do any refinance again. And this time, if I do 6.2% loan, if I use 6.2% loan to refinance, my cash flow increased by $300, maybe $400. Therefore, yeah.
Nice.
And also sometimes, okay, you got to use interest only payment loan. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
then you save, not saved. You could have maybe extra $200, $300 cash flow at a time. And this also, temporary strategies. You have to refinance again, but there's no other way at the time to survive or to have a cash flow at the time. This is how I survived during this period. But seller finance is different though. That's why many investors focus on seller financing or subject to deal. Subject to is awesome during the period. Even now, I'm buying one next week. Okay, interest rate is 3 point some percent, less than 4% always. Then you have enough cash flow. One subject to I did last month. Okay, this is a very nice house, very nice area. And then the veterans, she want to move into smaller apartment. Then my monthly payment is $1,600 for this loan. $50,000 equity in the house. She gave up. I took over the mortgage payment. I already rented out. My rent, $2,900.
Wow, that's a big difference.
Yeah. My monthly payment, $1,600. My rent is $2,900. If you
Good
do,
spread.
if you do subject to an interest rate is lower, maybe less than 4%. Then if it's a good condition, you don't need to spend such a big amount of money to rehab. Maybe this property I spent only $2,000 to paint it, then rent it out $2,900. And this is a pattern many investors, me including myself, focused last 4 years. Then you don't need to worry about higher interest rate.
That's awesome. Good work, Steve. So what I'm hearing you say is when interest rates go up, you shift your model so that you're not reliant on those interest rates to make money. You adjust to subject to or seller financing depending on the underlying loan on the property. You adjust your model to find a way that makes it work because market conditions change.
Right. That's
Excellent.
right.
Good work, Steve. Thank you so much. What pitfalls would you warn other investors to avoid when you are looking at flipping homes? If you could, one piece of advice you could go back and tell yourself in 2007, just one, what would be your biggest piece of advice to yourself?
Don't do it by yourself.
Good advice. Don't do it by yourself.
If you are new to this business, 100% sure you have to work with people who has done before, even pay them. You should work with those people. Otherwise, you don't know what you don't know. Okay.
You will learn what you don't know, but it will be an expensive way to learn.
Exactly. I didn't tell the story today, but I had a huge mistake in the beginning. Okay.
Oh, we've got a few minutes. Can you just give us a synopsis of that?
Right. Okay. All right. When I started fixing flipping by myself, okay, I used somebody who didn't have a license. Okay. Even I didn't know he has a license or not. I trust them; they have a license, but they didn't have it. Then they start rehabbing without permit. Okay, they didn't get the permit, and then one day, okay, city inspector came to my property. Originally, they came my next building. City inspector heard some noise from my building, my property. Then he knocked the door. According to, I'm telling his story. Okay, he said that. Okay, I heard noise from your building. Okay, then I knocked the door. And many people run away from the back door. What's going on, Steve? What's going on? Are you doing something? Yeah, I'm doing. You get the permit? I think I did. I have to ask my contact. Actually, he didn't get the permit, and then he put stop work order on the door, and I have to go through all kind of process by myself. And then, but this city inspector recognized that how little I know this business. Okay, therefore he became so kind, teach me all kind of step. Anyway, I have to go through, Chicago, we have to go through the court case court to fix all kind of issues. I have to go to court. I have to bring the city inspector to the property. Then I have to hire another licensed electrician, plumber, all kind of people. Then I have to pass inspection one by one. It should be done very quickly, but it took more than 1 year to
A
fix.
year.
1 year. Of course, holding costs a lot.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's a learning experience. And then from the beginning, if you don't know what you don't know, you should work with people who know what you're supposed to do. Then you can go through maybe, safer, quicker way. Okay?
Oh man, such great advice. Learn from others who have done what you want to do and find a way that you can give them back some benefit so they want to keep working with you so it becomes a symbiotic relationship. Great, great advice, Steve. Thank you so much. Genuinely, thank you for joining us today. You've shared with us so much wisdom and so much knowledge from your experience. You have learned so much in this real estate investing journey. I know you had mentioned to me that in the near future you wanted to move into the commercial real estate investing space. I
100%.
think you were looking at like smaller apartment buildings, correct?
Right. I have 2 goals. First, I want to reach 100 single-family home rental properties, and then I'm going to reach 400 apartment complex next year. And therefore, I'm going to reach 100 by the end of this year. And I'm going to start buying apartment complex, multifamily as soon as I reach 100.
Nice.
Therefore, I'm going to catch up with you.
That is awesome. We would love you to. That's awesome,
All
Steve.
right.
Okay, thank you so much for joining us today, Steve. For those of you who want to learn more about Steve's journey or follow him, he is available on Facebook. Steve's last name is spelled Nomura. He's got an awesome journey, lots of great content you can see on Facebook. Is there anywhere else that our listeners should be reaching out to find you and hear more of your story, Steve?
No problem.
Okay, so Facebook it is.
Yeah, Facebook is good. Yeah.
Facebook's great. Awesome. Thank you so much, Steve. We really appreciate you.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to Real Estate to Freedom with Dr. Nate and Beckie Lambert. If you enjoyed the show, please rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. You can download their free ebooks and workshops by visiting realestatetoFreedom.com.